What he suggests here is that you work with the 4 sevens and the 4 queens. And it is important to work with card values that have 5 letters in their names for this procedure to work. And if they do, the procedure works beautifully, as you'll see. Now, there are a couple of ways of beginning. What he suggests is go ahead and openly create a cyclic packet by alternating the queens with the sevens. Okay? So what that means then is go ahead and you put 1 queen there and 1 7 here, a queen, a 7, a queen, a 7, a queen, a 7. Okay? Now my viewers know that there is a nice way to accomplish creating this little cyclic structure using the Klondike Shuffle. So that's just another way of doing it. But there's nothing wrong with doing it the way that he's recommended here. Because for one thing, the spectator is seeing for themselves how perfectly interlaced and tangled these cards are, right? And now we're going to go ahead and kind of mix them further beyond this initial organization of the cards, okay? So we would go ahead and just close that up. Now, because it is cyclic, you can freely cut the deck or packet. You can cut it anywhere, and it will not undermine the fact that it alternates sevens with the queens. Now, the starting number or starting card might be different. Now it's a 7 versus a queen on top, but that doesn't matter. This is a cyclic packet with cycle length 2 because there's a pattern that repeats every 2 cards. 7 queen, 7 queen, 7 queen, and so forth. Okay. Now he also mentions the Charlier Shuffle. And for those who are familiar with my YouTube channel, Hidden Structures, I have a video on the Charlier Shuffle. And the Charlier Shuffle is a wonderful way to supposedly randomize a cyclic packet when in fact each one of these little Charlier Shuffles is equivalent to an ordinary cutting of the cards at some location. So all of this movement of the cards is really just equivalent to finding some place in the packet where you cut it and do that, okay? Even though it sure looks like a lot more is happening. And I guess I can just kind of show that to you, that we have not harmed the fundamental structure of this alternating packet. Okay? Now, from here, so we want to convert this. This is like 1 0 1 0 1 0. It's, you know, it's like this, where it's like 10 10 10 10 as far as the digits. We want to convert it to a Bessey sequence because it's only in that organization of the cards which will yield a structure that is invariant under the many shuffles that I've shown you in this series. Okay, and the way we're going to do it is we're just going to spell queens followed by sevens. Those 2 spellings will take this alternating packet and arrange it in this way. How in the world would you see that ahead of time? Okay, so Q, U, E, E, N, S. So we spelled queens. S, E, V, E, N, S. Believe it or not, we're there. We have a Bessey sequence. E, how would you figure that out? You know, if he had worked on it for 6 months, I might not be so impressed, I suppose, but to do it in a couple of days, it's like, what the heck? How would you know that it would have that effect? Okay, well, it's a Bessey sequence now, and so you can relax when performing any one of those 25 to 30 shuffles that we've presented. None of them will harm the fundamental nature of this packet, okay? And then once you've done those to the content of the spectator, we're now going to convert it back. We're going to pull the ones and zeros apart. Well, there's actually a few ways to do it, because think about it. This is a Bessey sequence, right? And what have we just shown you in versions 4 and 5? We've shown you ways of going from here to two distinct sets of 4 of a kind. So you can use the conversion procedures shown in the previous 2 little routines to separate the 7s from the queens, if you would like. And that's one of the wonderful aspects of what I'm sharing with you from Werner Miller, is that these are modular, converting from 2 sets of 4 of a kind to a Bessey sequence, or converting that back from a Bessey sequence to 2 sets of 4 of a kind. You can mix and match those in terms of which one you use in combination with the other. So you're converting in one direction and then you're converting back in the other direction. Well, how you do that, you can do that in a number of different ways now. We have multiple ways of doing that. So he mentions that in his write-up at the bottom. But he also points out, he says, well, you could do that. You can kind of use what we've shown you thus far. But he says here, he says, but why not restore instead the cyclical order the cards were openly arranged in? So it's kind of a playful question. It is surprisingly easy. Simply spell once more queens followed by 7s. And that will take you back to an alternating structure. Amazing. Okay, so let's just show you that. So if we now spell queens, Q-U-E-E-N-S, put the rest on top, 7s, S-E-V-E-N-S, put the remaining cards on top, we have converted it back to an alternating packet of 7s and queens. And of course, once you're back to this structure here, now the spectator doesn't know that you're not showing them the faces here, right? You just spelt queens and 7s again. They have no idea. I mean, they would figure, boy, the cards are beyond the knowledge of anybody, right? Well, it alternates. Well, you can actually perform, if you would like to, a few Charlier shuffles just to really convince the spectator that, boy, these cards are really beyond the knowledge of anybody. I mean, look at the mess here, And then you could even ask for a free cutting of the cards to seal the deal. You just have the spectator cut the cards anywhere. And now even the place where it's cut is outside your control as the performer. The spectator did it. Well, because this alternates, what you could do to separate it back into a set of queens and a set of 7s is just do an LR shuffle, right? Just do an LR shuffle. So you'll get all the 7s together and all the queens will be congregated together. Okay? So I found these additional little applications that Werner shared with me too irresistible to not share with you as well. I guess as a final note, regarding this version 6, let me just kind of show you actually in action what I was talking about. We began version 6, if you recall, we created a cyclic packet, right? We alternated the 7s with the queens. That's just fine. But if you were to begin in the same way that started all of these applications in this video, you can just have the spectator decide how to stack these as blocks, and then just perform a Klondike Shuffle. And why don't we do it face up so that you can see it will convert it into an alternating structure. So that's kind of an elegant way to go from these 2 blocks of 4 of a kind to alternating or interweaving them perfectly. And then from here, you just now spell queens, followed by 7s. It will convert this to a Bessey sequence, perform any of the many shuffles I've shown you, Once you're done doing that, you can convert it back to this alternating structure by spelling queens and sevens, or you can use the techniques shown in any of the earlier applications here. So as always, I appreciate you watching and hope that you'll find other videos on my channel to be of interest to you.